Hi everybody, so I'm Chelsea and today I'm gonna be, well, I guess I shouldn't say today, I guess I should say tonight because it's nighttime. But tonight I'm gonna be talking about how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my family and what their reaction was and how I told my boyfriend and all that good stuff, because I just think being a girl, it's a lot on us. We have to deal with a lot, and it's pretty much one of those things that you kind of feel alone at first when you find out. So I'm pretty much just going to make this video to help girls who are my age or teenagers or, you know, upper 20s, whatever age you are, just to help you cope with it better and just know that you're not alone, and know that most importantly, your family will probably learn to accept the decision of you deciding to keep your kid if you are pregnant and you decide that you want to keep it, and you're just pretty much trying to figure out how to tell them and all that good stuff. It was really hard for me, and you know, I'm 21 years old. I'm of reasonable age to be having a kid, but I'm just pretty much going to take it into more context. This is my new channel, and I just wanted to start it off with something where a lot of girls can relate to, because I'm just a very open person, and I just think it's one of those topics that, since I can relate to it now, I want to help you guys relate to it as well. So pretty much how I found out was I was 4 weeks and 5 days. My period's been pretty much consistent throughout most of my teenage years and up to now. I'm 21, like I said earlier. So when I knew it was 5 days past or 5 days late, I kind of was like, oh no, something's up. I was on birth control and it wasn't planned at all. So I doubled up. I remember doubling up a couple days throughout the month, and unfortunately I got unlucky. Well, I can't say I got unlucky, but because it's like a blessing now. But it was definitely a curse. I had to deal with that first until I got the news out and all that good stuff. I pretty much was afraid of being judged, and I was afraid of my parents being upset and them being like, well, how do you expect to finish college now, and all this and all that. So anyways, back to the topic. So my period was 5 days late. So I was about to be going to work around 11 a.m. and I decided to test around 8 in the morning when I had gotten up before work. And I took the test. I left it on the bathroom sink because it was a digital one that will tell you not pregnant or pregnant right away. And I left it on the sink for 3 minutes, and then I walked back in to see the results, because let me tell you, it's a very nerve-wracking thing to sit there and just watch those loading things just keep processing like that. I was just like, I can't be in here and I can't do this, because I've never tried getting pregnant before. You know, like I said, it wasn't planned, so it was really stressful because I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, is everything okay? Is this normal? So yeah, I was in that situation where you're just kind of like freaking out, because you're like, my period's not usually this late, and like I said, mine's been super consistent throughout my teenage years and up to now. So I knew something was up, and I was afraid of that being what was up. So anyways, I walked back in, I looked at the test, and it said it was pregnant. It just, full capital letters, pregnant, pregnant, pregnant. So my first thought that went through my head was, it was just mixed emotions and feelings, because I was like, well, I guess I can get pregnant, because every girl wants to know, hey, can I get pregnant? But especially if you're not ready, you're like, well, I don't want to know if I can get pregnant if I'm not ready to raise a kid, you know? So I was just like, well, I guess I'm able to get pregnant. And then I pretty much just kind of stood there and looked at it again and was just still in complete shock. So my second impression, I guess I could say, was, all right, you have to tell the dad, which is my boyfriend Dylan of a year and 7 months now. Will be 2 years in November of this year, 2018. So I had taken a picture of the test, and I messaged him saying, I'm not kidding, this is true. you know, this isn't a joke. I took this test this morning and I'm pregnant. And his first response was, well, I don't think we're keeping it because, you know, we're both young, it wasn't planned, and all that good stuff. So that was his first impression, was we're not keeping it. And, you know, being a girl and finding out you're pregnant and hearing that, it was really, really heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie, it still bothers me kind of to this day just to get that first impression from him saying, well, we're not keeping it, because it's just like, they don't realize that you're the one that's dealing with everything and you're the one that has to carry and all that stuff. So it was very heartbreaking to get that thought process or get that impression from him. So it was definitely, it wasn't the icing to the cake there, let me tell you. So after that, I had went to work and it was really hard being at work because it's all I could think about. I was just really bothered because it was all that was running through my head. And I'm a server, so trying to wait on tables and not be thinking about that, it was really challenging. Luckily, I only had to be at work for 2.5 hours because we were slow. So that was the good side to it. So then a couple days had went by, but the day that I found out, I told my best friend because she recently had just had twins, so she was in a very relatable situation. So I've known her my whole life, so I was like, let me tell her, let me see what she says, maybe she can help me cope with this better, which she really helped me. Her name is Jana, she's my best friend, and she helped me cope with it. She helped talk me through it. She's like, it's gonna be all right, I know you're gonna be a great mom if you decide to keep it. You got to think about the pros and the cons to it. So that's what I did. So I took a couple days to just process it all and think about it and kind of talk to Dylan more about it, but he was just really stubborn about it. And because, like I said, it's just like, guys don't relate as well as women. They don't pick up as quick on like a woman to pick up motherhood. Like they say, a mother becomes a mother the minute she finds out she's pregnant, and a father becomes a father the minute he sees its kid when it's born. So that's why he was just in that kind of phase. But now he's super happy about it, and we're both super excited because we're keeping it, and we're hoping it's going to be a boy, but if it's a girl, we'll be happy as long as it's healthy. But anyways, back to the story. So I talked to my best friend about it, and then she was like, well, I don't want you to go an abortion route. And I didn't really want to go an abortion route, even though he was like, well, we're not keeping it. But that was just because it was his first thought, and he's just like, well, we're not ready. But nobody's really ever ready to have a kid. Like, it's just one of those things that you just have to grasp as time goes and work through it the best. And then it, you know, a kid ends up being the best thing that's ever happened to you, hands down. So pretty much just had to live by that motto for those couple days because it was just a lot to take in. So a couple days went by and I finally had the courage. I was like, I have to build up the courage to at least tell my mom, because me and my mom didn't have the closest relationship growing up, but I knew I needed to lay it down to her and let her know. So I had sent her, what I had did was I had sent her like a very, very long paragraph of a message letting her know like, hey, this is what happened. Like, I found out I'm pregnant. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just really lost for words. And I just want to let you be aware of the situation on to whatever I decide to do, whether I want to keep it, whether I don't, whether I want to put it up for adoption. Pretty much all those different options that I could do. So I told her, and she was pretty much just in shock, but then she was really supportive because she was excited about the fact that she was going to be a grandma, because she doesn't have her first grandchild yet. So she was like a pass right away. And then she was like, well, give it a couple days, you know, process it. So she was like, take a week. Actually, I took a week and I really thought about it, and I was like, what do I want to do? So I processed it, and then I pretty much told her, I was like, I can't go on abortion. I don't believe in abortions, so I'm going to keep it. And then I told my boyfriend Dylan, I was like, if you want to be in this with me, or if you don't, whatever you decide, I'm keeping it, because I know what's right, and I know I'm going to be a good mom, and I know I'm financially stable, so I'm keeping it, and that's that. You support it or you don't. It's like I said, I'm the one who has to deal with it. I'm the one who has to carry it, and I just felt like it was the better move for us, so yeah. So then eventually I had told my dad the same way. I was like, look, you know, I don't want to be a disappointment to you. I don't want you to think that I'm not going to continue college. I had texted him a big long message about a week and a half later after telling my mom, because she couldn't hold it anymore, and she's like, you really need to tell your dad. So that's what I did. I wrote him a long paragraph too, but his was very different than my mom's, because me and my dad, we grew up really, really close. He took me to all my soccer games and volleyball games, so I was pretty much a daddy's girl. So it was really hard to tell him, because I'm like his baby. I'm his youngest girl, so it was really hard to tell him. But I told him with sending him a long, meaningful text from the heart, and I was like, I know you've always pressured me to do my best. I know you've always told me, you know, be smart with your decisions, get your school done before you decide to do anything like having kids and all this and all that. So I was like, I just want to tell you this. It's been bothering me. It's been eating me alive, but I need to tell you the truth. So I told him. He wrote back, and he was like, he pretty much was like, all right, I'm going to accept this. You know, I'm not the happiest about this, because, you know, I wanted you to get your schooling done and do all this and do all that first, you know, get more stable on your feet. Even though you're stable, it's just he wanted me to be like more stable and almost done with school. But he's like, you know, people make mistakes, things happen. I know you're a strong person at heart. You're very caring, and I know you're going to be able to handle this, and I'm going to be there to support you no matter what. So telling them, it was honestly the best feeling to get their support. And let me tell you, it makes you feel so much better just getting it off your chest than literally sitting there and letting it just keep bottling it up to yourself, because it literally made me feel so depressed. I felt so alone, because I didn't have my boyfriend's support at first. You know, all I was talking to was my best friend, who was 7-8 months at the time, pregnant with twins, and it was just super hard. So that's pretty much how I told them. And my biggest fear about telling them, like I said, was just I didn't want to get judged. I didn't want to get told I made a big mistake, because like I said, I'm 21. You know, I have a grasp on my life. I'm pretty much stable for now. You know, I'm going to school. I have a serving job, so it's very manageable, and deep down inside I know, like, I'll be good at it, and I'm ready to step up to the plate and take on the responsibility of motherhood. So, well, responsibilities of motherhood. So that's pretty much my experience on how I found out and how I told my boyfriend and my mom and my dad. And then, of course, more of my family has known gradually over time. So right now, I am currently 13 weeks. My first trimester definitely has been very hard. I'll post another video to talk about like the symptoms and what I've been going through. So if you're a girl and you're in your first trimester and you want to see like if you have relatable symptoms, or if you think that something's odd or something's unusual, I will help you with that, because that will be in my next video. But thank you all for watching so much, and I really appreciate you all for watching this and taking the time to listen to how I told my family about being pregnant, because I know it's one of those situations where it's really hard and you just want to make sure everyone's going to be happy for you and you don't want to get talked down on. So yeah, but thank you all so much, and I love you, and thank you for watching.